quick video on healing the brain, and I guess I'm being graphic. This is a helmet I got from Russia, actually from China, sorry. It runs at 810. You can buy some of these on eBay. The one I got is a little better quality. They are not cheap. I've used the V-Lite system, which has its own headset. This one has many more lights, so I prefer it. But this is the V-Lite intranasal. So the idea is that the light actually goes through up through the brain this way, through the mucosal lining. So Google 810 light therapy for the brain, photobiomodulation, and also V-Lite intranasal, and do some research. This is one way to treat the brain. I also every morning do my electrostatic charge therapy. Let me find the coil. Aha. So this is a coil that comes from a generator that runs at 300,000 hertz. The field is actually spinning in a vortex, and it's kind of, simply put, it's like lightning. So it's electrostatic. I'm a fan of lightning therapies. Ozone is made from lightning, and this is a direct application. You do the organ systems, you can do the brain. There's different size coils. This is fairly aggressive, and you can adjust the power level accordingly. The higher the power, the shorter the duration. So if you're at a high power, you do a minute here, a minute here. If you're doing a lower power, you can stay constant. Once again, you do treat the kidneys and the liver, and then you can go to, let's say, I know people have lung issues or thyroid issues or whatever organ system you want to treat. So this is they say it's kind of in the light range. I don't want to get technical, but 300,000 hertz is a pretty high frequency. And what you're trying to do is get to the cells in the brain, and this will cut through into the brain cells and help repair damaged DNA, according to the inventor. Alrighty, so another therapy you can do. One thing I do now every morning, a friend of mine recommended this, and actually it's a good therapy. Go outside, look at the sun with your eyes closed for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. Just let the sun soak into your brain. Obviously, light is a very very key part of healing the brain. Another therapy is ear ozone insufflation and also sinus ozone insufflation, and you can do also systemic ozone for the blood. If you go through the ears, you will get into the brain and the microcirculation, and you need to buy a medical ozone system to do that. Some people have a lot of sinus issues, and that actually is affecting their brain. It's something, if you got all this congestion and you can't get rid of it, how can you do it? And this is an interesting, simple question, actually, and profound. Ozone is a gas, and when you shoot it up the sinuses, it's a very fiery, again, made from lightning. It breaks things down tremendously, and it kills microbes. So a male sinus cavity is around 90 milliliters, a woman about 75. Anyhow, when you shoot a syringe full of ozone up the sinuses, and you can cover the entire region. You can't breathe it, by the way, so there's a special teaching about how to do this. The reaction afterwards is amazing. You'll just start dumping all kinds of stuff, and particularly people with sinus infection, sinus congestion. I highly recommend getting an ozone system, because you could radically transform the sinus environment in a very short period of time. So the key is, this is true with a lot of my therapies I recommend. A lot of times people have these sinus infections and they just never literally can get in deep enough to access the part that's got issues, whether it be an infectious part or a bunch of stuck debris. So ozone is a gas that literally will innervate the entire cave of the sinuses, sinus cavities. Goes through all the little mini caves, and even if you get good at it, you can even go with a little extra force to just really push it up in deep. Once it goes in, it just does its work. So please consider that as part of treating your brain. So we got light therapy. There's red light therapy panels. I also like infrared, full spectrum infrared therapy, near, mid, and infrared. That'd be near, mid, and far infrared therapy. Other than that, there's a whole slew of supplements. On one last thing, which I've recently been doing, there's pulsed electromagnetic frequency therapy. And essentially, that's a magnetic field that can go right through your head and hit every cell and basically ping, ring, pulse, whatever term you want to use, do a lot of movement at the cell level, causing the cell to get rid of toxins, to move. And that's a very good therapy. A lot of times there's a Chinese term called qi stagnation. There's some area that's just stuck, frozen. Obviously, dementia would be a brain that starts to freeze. So PEMF is a literal cell pump, but you need a strong enough system to effectively go deep. Every time you go in an inch, the field diminishes quite a bit. So you need to have a lot of starting power. We have a very, very affordable system, which used to cost 30 grand in the States, and it's a fraction of that. And thank God I found a sourcing for much more affordable PMF. There's also more subtle PMF, but it's not going to really get to a deep stagnant area. Also, PMF is wonderful for treating joints, old injuries. Just amazing tool for any athlete or person who's really got bad hips, bad knees, bad shoulders, bad everything. You can also treat the organs with PMF. Alrighty, so there are other therapies. I'm just covering a few, but I did want to kind of just highlight some of the therapies for treating the brain. Appreciate it. Thank you.